Nobody trusts anybody now. We're all very tired.
I am Couch Coop. This is Friday Night Frights.
How was it today?
Good. Good. Halfway there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you're good. You got this. You're killing it, literally.
I reviewed this game back in 2020 on its year of release. It's called Carrion. It's published by Devolver. It's from Phobia Studios. And it was lucky enough to be plucked out, coincidentally, no money changed hands, by Markiplier, the streamer. And it got like 1.4 million views, really pushed it out into the market, and it deserved the exposure. It is an incredible game. Devolver, as a publisher and a promoter, have got this knack of sort of transcending all the norms and coming up with really good advertising campaigns for even the smallest of independent video games. I pair up Carrion with a game called My Friend Pedro, which is also from Devolver. It's a very hectic side-scrolling shoot 'em up and also very much unsung.
Wow. I don't know what any of that means. I'm just happy to be here, you know? One day you're a struggling LA nobody doing telenovelas and walk-ons for food money. The next thing you know, you get a call.
This particular piece of promotion features a sort of animatronic prosthetic model of the Carrion alien. It's very well done. It's obviously leaning towards some of that 80s genre theme. It's very clear that they get it. It's very obvious that the angle for this material is being looked after by people who genuinely love a genre like this. And what I'm talking about is the sort of metamorphosizing sci-fi alien in a laboratory miles away from anywhere. Yes, it is almost the Thing blueprint.
It's wild. You're in like this warehouse all rigged up with sensors. You're there acting mostly alone. There are these guys in pajamas or whatever, but I'm used to being tactile, you know?
Carrion was initially very well received. In actual fact, I've never heard a bad word said about it. There is one element to the game which we'll come to in a second, but it's really one of the better 8-bit sci-fi reverse horror games out there. There's very few of them. When I'm talking about reverse, I mean you take control of this creature. It's absolutely awesome. The angles it offers on scaring humans, etc. We're now going to move over to the animated intro of the game. Now, I warn you ahead of time that there is a horrendously disgusting logo in the bottom corner. Get rid of that watermark. No, in seriousness, this is horrific. And I'm going to play it all because it's not copywritten. And it's one of my favourite intros to an indie game ever. There's nothing but pure love for the subject matter in here. Give me the team that made Love, Death and Robots or cherry-picked some of the best of the producers from that show and make a massive 3-part series of that intro. How it all came about, experiments on baboons, you guys know the deal, there's squid DNA involved, it would be watchable. Just feast your eyes on the animated movement of this thing, the detail involved in its motion and how it creeps around the custom-made levels, i.e. this isn't a platformer by any stretch. You are stuck to the walls and you can make it to just about any section as long as the doors aren't locked or the corridor blocked. It looks like it could be keyboard and mouse with that freedom of movement, but the game is very much controller focused. One stick giving almost free movement and the other one controlling the camera, which is important. It allows you to look further on, there may be traps or spikes. So it does have that sort of Metroidvania feel. At the start of the game, it's very much get to a new section, work out a puzzle, get through a gate. There's not too much of the sneak, stealth and terrifying mechanics that give this game such an awesome feel. Slowly you get taught what you can and can't do, and you sort of protrude a disgusting tentacle that grabs onto switches and levers and rips out doors, full on destruction, and can even throw things around. That's kind of stage one for the disruption that you can cause. You also have an electricity and stealth mode, and you can let off a terrifying roar to freak out all of the scientists. To say the scientists freak out is a goddamned understatement, and some of the screams, shouts and noises that come out of the screen may get some of your neighbours' chins a wagging. But that's half the fun of it, hearing all of the panic and seeing how they scuttle around to try and avoid you. But the crux of dealing with these humans is that they are integral to getting yourself larger. You need to be larger to take care of particular tasks, so you have got to eat them all. It's compulsory. You also, strangely enough, have to slim down for certain sections to get through smaller pipes. So you have to sort of deposit biomass into these like strange liquid balls. And it's also the tentacle thing with the save points getting spread around that map screen that make it feel like you're genuinely sort of hive style taking over this underground laboratory with all of that almost Zerg-like hive structure that's getting larger and creeping through that awesome underground lab. And I was impressed with the amount of underwater stuff that's involved as well, but it is very puzzle heavy at the front of the game. There are some really major bosses, however, and proper adversaries, even miniature Ed 209 things and dudes with shields and guns and flamethrowers. It very much kicks off on the weaponry front once you get into that military factory. And for me, I feel this is where the game goes into a kind of second stage. Once you've got adversaries that need to be avoided, or people that need to be distracted maybe with noises and secret tunnels that you can access, it very much feels like old school Flashback, or even Oddworld. Abe's Odyssey. Jesus, that was 1998. One of the powers given to you early on, I feel, is one of the more iconic, and it is a piece of bone that gets fired out with a sort of fleshy entrail that can be retracted. This thing is terrifying, and you can fire it through gaps, flip switches with it, decapitate people with it, or completely just pin them against a wall. Two things have just dawned on me. We're in 2024. This game came out 4 years ago. It did not undersell, and Hotline Miami, from the same distributor and publisher but not developer, almost got sequeled like a week afterwards. I know that game is absolutely rip-roaring. This would be so nice to be seen again. 16-bit, slightly more upped graphics, bigger levels, higher intelligence on the enemies. I want more from this studio. I could have sworn blind that there was a tiny bit of paid DLC, but I've just checked out Steam. There's only the deluxe edition, which comes with the soundtrack, an amazing piece of music, orchestral, synth. There's loads of genres within that, but no actual extra gameplay content, so to speak of. On the PSN store, this is down at £4, £4 That's probably $5-6. That's a very good price for a game of this size. Now let's get to the elephant in the room. If you were to really knuckle down, you could finish this game in about 4.5 hours. It's billed at 6 hours, 6+ if you want all the achievements, but it isn't massive, and that was a huge complaint from a lot of the reviewers on release day, is that there's no reason why there couldn't have been 15-10 hours of gameplay in here. The levels are awesome, switching that out wouldn't have got boring, so I was a little bit miffed that that is all they gave us. And I was thinking at the back of my mind, this is like a precursor, they're going to roll out a AA version of this. Turns out you need more than Markiplier, an amazing advertising campaign, and Couch Coop talking about your indie game on Halloween. That last one might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Come on people, let's get this sequel going. That got me thinking about what other games let you play the baddie this well. And the first one that comes to mind is that Dungeon Keeper game from Bullfrog. I think it's early Molyneux. And also, I think you might have been Mad Evil in Prototype. I remember fighting all the military and police and stuff. You were far from a ideal citizen. Aliens Extinction also as well. I'm going back into the old cranial archives here. And you did used to get to play as an alien or a predator in those Versus games. But if you're a Zerg main in StarCraft 2, then you know exactly what it feels like to be an evil genius. Please see link in description. Will you be continuing Friday Night Frights after Halloween, Coop? Well, judging by the numbers from the last episode, show 'em, Coop, show 'em the numbers. 400 people looked at it. My peers, the other people that make content that I consider competitors, just need to make a video about how the new Dragon Age is going to be really gay. 60,000 views, 24 hours. I don't really want to steer towards that content. I'd rather keep things more cerebral, more about the art of video gaming and its beauty. I have been Couch Coop. I will see you down there.
Cheeky bitch.
With our bodies, our blood, and our searing wrath, our very life force is a gift from him, and we shall use it to serve him only.
How are you acclimating to your new status?
I have no complaints.
Intriguing. Predictions would determine a point-blank probability that you will.
Carnifex Tub.